Good morning, students. ഇന്നത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ബ്രയോഫൈറ്റ്സിൽ രണ്ടാമത്തെ ടൈപ്പ് പഠിക്കാനുള്ള മർക്കാൻഷ്യയെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണ്. മർക്കാൻഷ്യയുടെ സിസ്റ്റമാറ്റിക് പൊസിഷനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയാനായിട്ടാണെങ്കിൽ മർക്കാൻഷ്യ ബിലോങ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ക്ലാസ്, ഇറ്റ് കംസ് അണ്ടർ ദ ക്ലാസ് ഹെപ്പാറ്റിക്കോപ്സിഡ ആൻഡ് ഓർഡർ ഇസ് മർക്കാൻഷിയേൽസ്. Family is Marchantiaceae. So the systematic position comes as class Hepaticopsida, order Marchantiales, family Marchantiaceae. Marchantia എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഈ ജീനസിൽ it has around 65 species reported from worldwide. And like all other bryophytes, Marchantia also are seen in the moist regions. Okay, like except one moist and shady places, except one species which is found in the burnt soil. It is found in the burnt soil after the forest fire comes, and this is the gametophyte of Marchantia. Mature Marchantia is a gametophyte. So this is a gametophyte of Marchantia. The thallus, as you can see here, is a prostrate thallus. It is dorsiventral also and dichotomously branched like that of Rixia. Okay, so the gametophyte is prostrate, dorsiventral, and the branches are dichotomously branched. And as we can see here, it has a, this is also gametophyte of Marchantia. There is a midrib which goes through the central part, and this midrib region, it is we can feel a groove in the central portion. Okay, and here you can see some dot like regions, and that are the thallus has certain regions which are represented by the air pores or air chambers. These air chambers are represented or seen on the dorsal surface of the thallus as polygonal pores. The pores appear as polygonal pores. Okay, and also the dorsal surface bears some cup-like structures which is called as gemme cups, and these gemme cups are found along the midrib region of the dorsal surface. They are smooth and spiny also, and in some case they may be having fimbriate margins. These gemme cups, they bear gemme, and that gemme help in vegetative reproduction. And the ventral surface, coming to the ventral surface of the thallus, it bears rhizoids and scales, same as that of bryophytes. Rhizoids are found along the midrib region on the ventral surface, while the scales, they are found on both the margins of the thallus. Rhizoids, they may be smooth-walled or tuberculate, while the scales, they are unicellular and the scales, they are multicellular and one cell thick. Usually these scales, they may be pigmented because of the presence of anthocyanins. They may be pigmented. These scales, they may be of two types: appendiculate either or ligulate. Appendiculate type will be having an apical sub-round appendage, while the other type, that is the ligulate type, it will be relatively smaller one and it will not have any appendage. Okay, so the scales, they may be two type as represented here in the figure: rhizoid appendiculate scale and ligulate scale. Appendiculate scale and ligulate scale, two types of scales are there. Appendiculate one will be having an apical subround appendage, while the other type, ligulate type, will not be having any appendage. And these scales are meant for protection. It protects the growing tip of the gametophyte, and also it helps in retaining the moisture or retaining the water content in the thallus. Some type of specialized branches are also seen in the gametophyte. These are the branches. They are called as gametophores. Okay, and these gametophores are the branches which bear the sex organs. And the branches which bear the male sex organ, that is the antheridia, are known as anthridiophores, and those branches which bear the female sex organ, that is the archegonia, that branches are called as archegoniophores. Okay, so there will be we can see the presence of certain branches. These are the branches, the stalk containing these structures. Okay, these branches, they are called as gametophores, and those branches which bear antheridia are called anthridiophores, and the others which bear archegonia are called archegoniophores. So coming to the internal structure, internally the thallus has three distinct regions: the epidermal region, photosynthetic region, and the storage region. Internally it is divided into three distinct regions. The epidermal region, it includes the upper and lower epidermis. This is the upper epidermis, this is the lower epidermis. Upper epidermis, it protects the internal photosynthetic region, and it is also, we can see the presence of certain pores that we mentioned in the morphological part. It is represented as the polygonal pores when from the dorsal view, and that is actually seen here. This is the air pore. These pores, they interrupt the upper epidermis. So the upper epidermis is not continuous, it is interrupted by the presence of air pores, barrel shaped air pores, and it opens to the exterior environment. Each of these pores, they are surrounded by 4 to 8 superimposed tiers of cells. The lowermost cells of the tier, they project inward, giving the pore a star shaped appearance. Okay, so the pore, it is surrounded by 4 to 8 superimposed cells, and the lowermost the cells which occupy the lowermost tier, they project to the inside, and so they give a star shaped appearance. The lower epidermis, it is represented here. It is the end portion, or it is the lowermost region, and it is coming as a continuation of this storage region. And rhizoids and scales arise from this cells of the lower epidermis. Next region is the photosynthetic region. Photosynthetic region is the spongy part. It is the spongy part, and it consists of large number of air chambers. These are the air chambers, and you can see certain partition walls here. These are the partition walls. Okay, and so these partition walls separate the adjacent chambers. They separate the adjacent chambers from each other by forming a single layered partition wall. Air chambers, they may be similar in their shape, and certain filament like arrangements you can see. They are the photosynthetic filaments containing the chlorophyll or chloroplast. So these filaments will be formed of cells that will be rich in chloroplast, and they are the photosynthetic filaments which arise from the ground or base of this air chambers. Okay, so these are the photosynthetic filaments. These photosynthetic regions are divided into different chambers, different air chambers. Each of these air chambers are separated by walls. 4 to 6 celled walls are seen here, which separate these air chambers from the adjacent one. Next region, or the third region, is the storage region, which is found just below the photosynthetic region. So it is here you can see it is unlike this photosynthetic region. Here you can see the cells are compactly arranged without any intercellular spaces. So this compact zone is the parenchymatous storage region. This region, the storage region, it is thick in the central region or the central portion, and it gradually tapers along the margins. Their cells are devoid of chloroplast because they are not meant for photosynthesis but for storage of the reserve food materials, which are synthesized by the upper photosynthetic region. So the photosynthetic region, they involve in active photosynthesis and synthesize the food materials. That food materials, it is stored in this storage region. So the cells are compactly packed. Each of these cells will be filled with reserve food materials in the form of starch or oil globules, and this region is so compactly packed so that there is no intercellular space between them. And the reserve food material, it may be in the form of starch or protein or oil. So this is an elaborate view. You can see the upper epidermis. This is the air pore, which is seen as a polygonal shape from the dorsal view, and this is the cells surrounding it. The lower ones protrude to the inner chamber, forming a star-like, giving it a star-like appearance. And so the upper epidermis, it is not continuous, and this is the photosynthetic region. Photosynthetic region is represented by different chambers, and each of these chambers are separated from one another by 4 to 6 linearly arranged wall layers. And these are the filaments. These filaments are formed by chloroplast rich cells, photosynthetic cells. So these are the photosynthetic region, photosynthetic filaments which perform photosynthesis. And this third region, this is the storage region. They are meant for storage of reserve food material in the form of starch, protein or oils, and mucilage may be also present. And this is the lower epidermis, lower epidermal region. It is having, from this region the cells give out rhizoids and scales. So that is all for today. Thank you.